It is 2024. The NHL season is buzzing, and that means you should be too. And there is no better way to do that than with a nice, cold, crisp, refreshing Labatt Blue Light. Without question, the best beer in the game because every single bottle, can, and glass is brewed with Canadian kindness. So if you're sitting at the game, if you're sitting on your couch, if you're hanging with the buds, or if you're hanging alone, the no-brainer beer to do it with is Labatt Blue Light, the best Pilsner in the game, and no question, hockey's favorite beer, so it should be your favorite beer as well. Crack a Labatt Blue Light today and every day, every time you're having fun. Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast. We're back in studio, we're back in California, and we are +1, dude.
We are +1. Dude.
As in +1 body. This is the most excited I've been in a long time. Everybody, listeners, viewers alike, please welcome the newest member of the Empty Netters team. Blakey, how we doing?
Oh, phenomenal. Just stoked to be here. Couldn't be any happier.
What's great is we stole Blake from the Kings.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know we were going to say that.
I don't know, hey, Kings, we've got a great relationship. Hopefully this doesn't, tarnish that.
Yep.
But this is a huge free agent pickup.
And we get a Canadian in the building.
Yeah, we do. We're going to... By the way, speaking of, how did you like that World Juniors tournament?
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, Blake was actually supposed to join last week and refused because the fucking humiliation.
Trauma.
Yeah.
No, it was. Hey, you know what? That was not the team to win the championship. That's for sure.
Didn't have the offense.
No.
Didn't have the offense.
Well, this is just as exciting as it gets. We obviously went on that big search. Blake, I had you were a part of the family already.
Yeah.
But knowing that Blake wanted this gig was just really great stuff.
Huge.
I think, when did it all start? I think it was at your Halloween party.
Dude, that's exactly what happened. We put up the post.
It was that day.
Then there was a big Halloween bash, and Blake showed up, and we were buckled.
Oh.
And Blake comes up to me and was like, by the way, I want that producer job. And I was like, really? So that was huge.
What were you wearing?
Some onesie.
Yeah.
It wasn't Scooby-Doo.
Dude, because the year before, but in my mind, it's Scooby-Doo. Like when I replay that happening, you were wearing Scooby-Doo. I know you weren't, though. Fuck.
I forget.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honestly, it probably ended up in the trash after that night.
Hey.
That's when you know you've got a great Halloween costume.
Yeah.
When you wear it and it's just battle worn after the night, and you're like, I got to throw this away.
Yeah, dude.
I still have my panda head.
Yeah, good.
I kind of threw away everything else, but I've got my panda head.
Great costume.
We've got a great episode today.
Big day.
First and foremost, big day for your boy. Big Michigan tilt. You know what I feel? I'm bummed. I got to watch the Michigan-Bama game with Beniers, who obviously Michigan guy,
Right.
and I feel a little naked. I feel like I need another brother in arms.
Dude.
Today. But I did talk to fans today.
Okay, good.
Maybe that's all.
That's what we need. I was going to say, I hung around Seattle for a bit and went to practice with the Kraken and everything, and was chilling with Maddie after practice, and we were talking about the football games. And I paused because I was like, actually, some of this I'll tell you guys after. But he was talking about how fired up he was and how nervous he was, and I was in the locker room pumped up for this game, and I was like, dude, I think you guys are going to roll. Because we were just like both vibing Michigan. I was like, you guys are going to roll, dude. I can't wait. And he was like, yo, don't fucking talk like that. It's not over till it's over, dude. We're going to fight till every last second. So that's why he's locked in, dude.
That's why he's my guy.
He's locked in.
And if I know Fance, like I think I know Fance, he is too. That kid is dialed at all times.
I mean, he was just there. Like he better be dialed.
For sure. We've got so much to get into, so let's get the no Bucky warm-ups going right now. And I'm going to show some love. We've had a roller coaster relationship with the Winnipeg Jets this year on the pod, and I just feel like we talked about what was going on with potential guys leaving, fans being upset, and we've had a really amazing full circle moment, I think, with Winnipeg and Winnipeg fans in terms of there was fear about Scheifele and Hellebuck leaving. Mm-hmm. Scheifele and Hellebuck are staying.
Yep.
Feels like fans weren't filling the barn. Fans are filling the barn. Kyle Connor is a top 2 goal scorer in the league.
Yeah.
He's out of the lineup right now with an injury, and the Jets are in first place with the game in hand in the Central. Nate Dogg is the best player in the NHL, and he can't even get the Avs in first place over the Jets. That's how good the Jets are.
Dude, it's not even...
The Jets are they're unstoppable.
They're unstoppable fourth. They're a B-12 bomber F-18 jet, dude. I guess those are U.S., and I should have gone Canada. Does Canada have a fucking Air Force?
Yeah, the Canadian Air Force.
Like, they have sick jet.
Not a great one. It's there.
So, dude... It's not even the Central, bro. They have 56 points right now. They have most points in the league. They have more points than the Bruins. They have more points than the Rangers. Like, they are the guy right now. They're him. The Jets are him.
The Jets are him.
Unlike in the NFL.
Yeah.
The Jets have won 6 straight. Only Panthers are on a 7-game heater right now. Kraken 6 straight. Shout out Spunk. But they're one of the hottest teams in the league. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10. Ridiculous. They're 10th in goals for without Kyle Connor for a long stretch here. Second best in the league behind only the Kings in goals against. They're putting it all together.
Dude.
Go on.
It's early, but God damn it.
Dude.
If the Jets don't feel like the Canadian team with the most realistic shot at going to the Cup.
Well, I'll say this, man. Last time, when Kyle got hurt,
when
we mushed Kyle Connor, when we were like, dude, he's going to have the most points in the West. And then that millisecond, literally, that came out of our mouth.
I'm pretty sure they were playing and he got hurt.
So when that happened, I want to say they were third. Maybe they were second, but they were having a fun start to the season. Where I was like, oh, the Jets are all right. Dude, that was my fear. Like, remember last year, Eichel got hurt. Vegas kind of dipped in the middle, which they're doing again, but they dipped in the middle of the year.
Boy, God.
And I was like, oh, man, might be a problem. And it wasn't a problem at all. As soon as Kyle Connor went down, I was expecting the massive dip, and they have done the exact opposite. Exact opposite.
And to me, that's real deal stuff.
Agree.
That's real deal stuff when a team has a huge player go down with an injury, and then they just keep buzzing.
Yep.
It was like last year. Obviously, they choked, but it was like last year when the Bruins started without McAvoy, Marchand, and Grzelcyk.
Yep.
And everyone said, oof, this is going to be tough. If the Bruins can just be 500 at the end, or at the end of this stretch when those guys are out of the lineup, they should be okay. And they went wire to wire first place in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, well, again, they choked. But
I was like, what is that?
but it's pretty awesome that the Jets are without Connor and they're still buzzing. And Connor just, to me, feels like the type of guy who's going to come back from that injury and score first game back.
Yep.
And
dude, Helly's doing it. He made the All-Star game. Obviously, everyone knows. Minimum 15 starts because there's some crazy shit going on. But minimum third in the league, goals against, 6th in save percentage, 2nd in wins. Like, he's exactly who you want him to be. Last year, I remember thinking, are you a guy that can steal a series?
Yeah.
And Vegas just rolled, and I was like, maybe. I mean, I know he is a guy that can steal a series, but I was like, oh, not this year. But that maybe was just more a testament to Vegas than it was Helly, because he is that guy. One thing I thought was Josh Morris, he's been a beast. 30 points, 39 games, an assist machine.
Yeah.
Ehlers, dude. Is it Nikolai? Is that how you say it? Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah.
Ehlers. Yeah, Ehlers is how you say it. Ehlers, dude. I was looking up his numbers because I was like, what's his career high? His sophomore year, his second year in the league, he went 64 points. Great as a second-year guy. Then his third year in the league, he goes 60, and then hasn't been over 60 since. He's in his 9th year in the league. He's 27. So, like, he's had some good 50-point burgers, but, like, that's about it since. This year, dude, on pace to have 65 points, career high. On pace for 30 goals, career high. That is the type of thing you need to get you over the hump, right? Or not over the hump necessarily, but like, oh, we lost Kyle Connor. We've been a fringe playoff team. Like, what changes? And it's like this. Ehlers gets back to the guy you thought you had when he was 20.
Dude, I wanted to include him in the top 100, if you remember this summer. I mean, Ehlers is phenomenal.
Yep.
And talk about contrast. We'll get into this later, but there's a certain team we're going to talk about with a lot of bloated contracts. Blake, I'm glad you're here for that.
Shot at me?
Nope. I think Kyle Connor has the highest AAV on that Jets team at something like 7.1
That's great. Let's see what that is.
Look that up. But
highest AAV will be next year will be Scheifele and Hellebuck with their matching 8.5 cap hits.
Yeah.
Currently, your highest cap hit is Mark Scheifele at 6.1, Ehlers at 6.
What does Kyle Connor make?
I think
scroll down to LTIR.
Kyle Connor is 7.1.
Okay, so it is
Crazy,
7.1.
dude. Yep.
So currently, and again, those extensions happen this year. So next year, 8.5 apiece for Scheifele and Hellebuck.
Yep.
But right now, Kyle Connor at 7.1 is the high. Dude, that's how you craft a Stanley Cup winning team. And I'm not saying the Jets are going to win the Stanley Cup, but when the Jets are in first place in the NHL and you look at the cap management here.
Yeah, right.
NHL teams, listen.
Yeah, dude, look
that
at your boys.
It, dude. And, I mean, shit, man. When you looked at the Avs before, obviously, Nate Dogg and Kale's contracts went into action when they won the Cup. Great cap management there. When you looked at the Bruins when they won in 2011, when you looked at the Blackhawks, it was Taves and Kane had big hits and everything else was spread out very evenly. I love that. If you're a Jets fan, you look at these studs, and even Scheifele and Hellebuck, 8.5 is such a good number
reasonable
for those guys.
And buddy, ho-hum, Mark Scheifele, 40 points in 39 games, just being a fucking stud per usual. What did we have him in top 100? Because it wasn't high enough. I forget what we put him, but people need to fucking check themselves on the Mark Scheifele
with
stats.
Skinner. We put Jeff Skinner in there, and people were like, Jeff Skinner. And literally in the comments, we would just go, look at his season last year. And people apologized. They were like, oh, shit, I didn't realize he was good. Scheifele's one of those guys. People are like, I mean, Scheifele's fine. I'm like, no, dude, Scheifele is elite.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
he scores
he's a
40.
PPG machine.
Yeah, he is a phenomenal player. And again, man, boy, do I love the structure of that team. And you talk about, we need and this is coming from an American, we need a Canadian team to win the Cup.
Yeah.
It would be electric.
Figure it out, boys.
If nothing more than, if we get another, I know we just had Montreal, Tampa in the bubble year, but that was a clown show. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows it. No one knows that better than Kucherov. If we got a legit Stanley Cup final between a U.S. and a Canadian team, if you don't think that will be electric just because of the fan bases, the added U.S. element of it, which sounds funny because guys on the team, there's Canadian and U.S. guys, there will be on both teams, but it's the fan bases. It's the air of, we've got 1-1 in this final. That would be unreal.
Dude.
And the whiteouts that Winnipeg does during the playoffs.
Dude, they deserved a win last year at home, too. They didn't get one.
During the if you got that fan base and that barn in the Stanley Cup final, fuck.
Dude, the last thing I'll say on this is that we've talked so much about the Pacific being a bloodbath, with the Oilers waking up, the Spunk waking up, Vancouver being very real this year.
Yeah.
And I still think Dallas, and no one's not saying this, but Dallas and Colorado are great teams and are going to be threats to win the Cup this year.
No doubt.
But I felt so much like they were going to sleepwalk their way to dominating the Central. Minnesota, none of us predicted their full fall off, but like they felt fringy. Nashville felt fringy. It's like,
it's funny. We kind of had Nashville and Minnesota in the middle of the pack. And at the beginning, or even 20 games into the season, it was like, oh, they're both way further down, and they're both creeping up to the middle of the pack.
Yes, and it's totally good. But just if you were Colorado and Dallas, you were not ready for the Winnipeg Jet donkey punch that was coming your way this season.
Dude, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're getting donkey punched big time by the Jets Central.
Good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, next one.
You were talking about Dallas a second ago with a hurt goalie, but good news on Otter, which is great.
Yeah.
He's been upgraded to day-to-day.
Yep.
We've got some hurt goalie news.
Yeah.
Violin music.
Yeah.
And Blake, for the listeners, Blakey's a goalie.
Yeah.
So this hits close to home, and it hits even closer to home because it's a... Dude, the Kings lost 2 goalies.
I know.
They lost 2 goalies just now, recently.
It's crazy.
Blake, and we've got news that Phoenix Copley is out for the season with a torn ACL.
The savior of last season, honestly.
Sucks.
What's savage about this is season starts, Phoenix was supposed to be the guy, right?
Yep.
It was last year, there was a number of Kings tendies in, and Phoenix kind of becoming the guy was a surprise.
Yep.
Starts the season a little slow. Cam Talbot to the rescue.
Yep.
Has 33 years old, I think. Maybe, is he older I think he's 33. Cam Talbot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes in out of nowhere, really, and has been out of his mind, just got named to the All-Star game, rightfully so. But after the struggles, Phoenix started playing a little bit better. Numbers were going up. Save percentage was going up. Kings went on that record-breaking away win streak.
Yeah.
They were first in the Pacific, just cruising. And been tough sledding recently. He's out. Riddick is now in as the backup behind Cam. But Kings are on a bit of a skid here. And what bums me out is I felt like with Talbot and Phoenix, we had our tandem in LA.
That's
going into the playoffs. Yeah. But now they're looking at what they did last year, getting help me, Korpisalo.
Yep.
It feels like we're right back there. They have to do that again. And if you're Robitaille and Blakey over in LA, you're like, God fucking damn it, dude. We have to do this again.
Well, that's all I wanted to ask you, because the Korpisalo trade, and I know you weren't implying this, but the Korpisalo trade, he obviously got the nod in the playoffs, and that wasn't a given because Phoenix was playing so well. But certainly, Korpi was a level of goalie that they were like, you could start in the playoffs if you go. Here, I don't know that they need to bring in a goalie that's like, you could start in the playoffs, because they're like, we have Cam. But I do think, and honestly, like barely even for the playoffs for the rest of this year, you do need a guy, because you just can't give Cam 30 of the next 40 games.
Exactly.
And then be like, okay, take us to the playoffs.
And I'll tell you what, and Kings fans, I am one of you, so don't jump down my throat here. Cam's been amazing. Like I just said, rightfully so, named to the All-Star game, but I wasn't even certain. Okay, here's a great example. As far as wins, Jonathan Quick has been the better goalie for the Rangers this year.
Yeah, right. Yep.
But you get to the playoffs, Shesterkin is starting every game. Of course, right? Even with Talbot being the guy so far for the Kings, let's say Phoenix wasn't hurt, I don't think right now I would have said Cam starting every playoff game no matter what. Mm-hmm. If I'm the Kings, I think I was kind of looking at the two of them and this next 40 some odd games as the sample size of, now it's Cam's job, but it could definitely be Phoenix's
Agree completely.
job. So I think that maybe they are looking at we need to get someone who could compete with Cam for a starting job. I don't think they're looking for a, Jarl Halak here. I think they're looking for a guy who's like, shit, man, like we might need to go.
Halak now, though, but like a Halak a couple years ago is exactly who they're looking for, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, maybe you could start. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm saying like they're looking for a guy who's, Cam has a tough couple of games.
Yeah.
We're starting you in the playoffs and starting you confidently, not starting you like, fuck, we're screwed.
Dude, it's so tough.
Like you need Korpisalo again.
Yeah, you get him back, dude. Dude, honestly, be like,
Ottawa,
I'm
like,
sorry.
You guys stink. Give him back.
It's so tough because you don't want to pay. Like if Cam got hurt, God forbid, I'd be like, okay, this is not a good situation, but it's a clear situation.
Yeah.
Pay big capital for, Gibber, Carter Hart, whatever. This one's dicey where I'm like, I don't think you want to give up a ton for a Korpisalo.
I know.
Just in case, because you're like, well, what if Cam's good? What a fucking waste of a chip that was.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, you need a goalie. There was a lot of people in the comments being like, you don't really need a goalie anymore. And I was like, well, you do. but to their point, you don't. Guys can get hot. Yeah. Kemper got hot. Like you can have a guy that's capable.
It's just you're asking a lot of a 33-year-old Cam who, when Cam was signed to this Kings team, he wasn't going like this. I'm the starter here now.
Yeah.
He was being like, I might be.
A Stanley Cup ride's on me.
And he's got great mentality. He's a great leader. So I feel great as the Kings team and fans with him being if he's the guy. Mm-hmm. I feel great about that. But you're asking a lot of him now if Riddick remains their backup for the rest of the season. Oh, dude, it hasn't looked great so far.
I know, and he's had such a journeyman career, but it's actually not horrible numbers. You look at his numbers, it's not bad. Like he can get the job done, maybe, but it's something to think about.
You're just asking a lot, and what really sucks is, or not what sucks, the added pressure, I think, is this Kings team last year felt like a unexpected, actually, Blake, you can speak very accurately to this. The success of last year felt ahead of schedule, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like when they started playing really well last year, guys like Velarde was burying goals and they were winning all these games. It was like, oh, fuck. Like there was talks of maybe a wild card team last year. And then all of a sudden it was like, nope, we're going to try to win this division.
Yep. And
they almost did. And when they went up against the Oilers, it was like, they're probably just not quite ready. Whereas right now, I think even with the surging Oilers, you put those two teams in a series against each other, I'm picking the Kings. Definitely.
Yeah.
But with this situation, it's like you need to get this back on track immediately, or you do need to go find a goalie again to make sure, because fuck, if they lose to the Oilers in the first round because of this.
Very possible.
That would be so frustrating. So this is something to keep an eye on for sure.
All right, here's the next one I got for you, and the Kings are part of it. I just wanted to call out some home ice problems. We've been talking about this to the Kings for a while because you said they have the broke the road wins record.
Yes.
The Kings on the road this year.
Well, streak.
Sorry, yeah. This year the Kings on the road.
Can you imagine if a team broke a roads win record at this point in the season?
You're like, holy hell.
Like, Jesus Christ.
The Kings 13-3-1 away, 7-7-5 at home.
13-3-1 away is out of control.
Okay. This one, not quite as bad, but worth noting. The Flyers, 11-6-4 away.
Yeah.
9-7-2 at home.
I think that's better than Kings.
It is, but just that's not. They're significantly better on the road.
Yes.
The Devils, 12-6 away, 9-9-2 at home.
Not good.
The Maple Leafs, 11-3-5 away, 9-7-2 at home. And I'm like, what are you guys doing, dude?
Dude, protect your barn.
And here's the thing. I don't want to spend too long on this because it's not like I, A, have any answers, or B, could even feign to be like, here's what they're doing wrong, those teams. But, man, that is and I'm pretty sure, didn't the Devils do this last year, too? I remember the Devils. Remember I picked them in 7 because I was like, they're better in New York. Like,
they were better on the road. They were
so
and that's what we said specifically in the Ranger series.
Yeah, right. I remember being like, because they dumped
like,
two
they're
at home.
going to MSG, and they're going to get this shit right back on track, and bang.
So the Devils did this fucking shit last year, and dude, every pro athlete I know, which there are few, but every pro athlete I know is like,
that's not true.
I know. I just want to feel like we know a million pro athletes. It's so much easier to play at home because you're in your routine. You know what you eat. You know when you get to the rink. You know, it's just like everybody prefers the quote unquote home cooking. In basketball, in NFL, there's like crowds, and the NBA, I've heard there's like it's the look of your gym when you're shooting. It's easier to like you bench players make more shots. Yeah. So I don't think like the hockey rink is the same size. I don't really think it's that. Crowd obviously is a factor, but it's usually the routine getting in and out of the rink. I cannot fathom how these teams are having so much trouble at home. And I haven't done a deep dive on the schedule. Like maybe their strength of schedule has been way harder so far at home. But I'm like...
Well, to your point, it's funny that there are this many teams, and I know this is exactly what you're saying, I'm just emphasizing it. It's funny that there are this many teams that are struggling at home and doing so well on the road.
And these are contending teams, I would say. Like the Devils are the lowest. Dude. And we'll see what happens with them. But you know what I'm saying?
I've got a gun to your head.
Go.
I've got a gun to your head. Right now, do the Devils make the playoffs?
Yes.
How about no?
Wow. What do you think?
I don't think so.
Because it's like
they've got to
talk about that. Yep.
Yeah, we can't.
Yep.
But I'm not.
I actually think they might miss.
I said I don't think so because I'm not confident in that take. But they've had a couple. I actually tweeted a few games ago. It was a game against the Caps, and I was like, it's insane to say this in the beginning. I think it was like the second.
Yeah.
It was the day after, I believe, the day after the Winter Classic. I was like, it feels insane to say this, but this is a monster game for the Devils.
I know.
It was like, it's a division game against a team that's in that middle spot. I was like, they need to win this game. And they did.
Yep.
And they've won a couple big ones here recently. But damn, are they frustrating.
It's crazy. But we're not talking about the Met.
You were talking about guys' routines. I want to make this a thing. And it's not something that we could very well talk about, but something that we know. I'm going to call these people Simmonses. In the movie Liar, Liar.
Yeah.
He's in the boardroom and he's just roasting everyone.
Yeah.
And he goes, Simmons is old.
Yeah.
He should have been out of the game years ago, but he can't go home because he hates his wife. I know for a fact that there are guys in the league, in all sports, who prefer the road because they're like, I just got to get out of my house.
Yes.
I want to be in the hotel room.
It's a major team bonding thing. We've talked about that too, where it's like, you go on long road trips, the boys are out there, you have no distractions. And even if it's, you don't hate your home life, or your home life is a thing, right? Like, I'm not saying it's a distraction. I'm saying you're like, I want to see my kids and see my... When you're on the road, dude, you're just playing hockey. Like,
So we've got... And I'm not saying this about anybody on these teams, but we're going to call it a team thing. When teams are doing this, they're Simmonsing. So the Kings and the Leafs and the Devils
and the Flyers.
And the Flyers.
No, the Devils definitely. The Flyers kind of.
They're all Simmonsing right
They're
now.
Simmonsing.
They're enjoying the road.
Yep. Okay, so that's just something to keep an eye on because those teams, if they clean that home shit up, you are a wagon.
Oh, yeah.
So figure it out, boys.
Figure it out at home.
Next one, no bucket I want to talk to you about is the Sharks.
Oh,
The
we've got a lot of no bucket. We're buzzing.
Yeah, because they're just quick. These are quick hitters. The Sharks have lost 11 straight games, and the Sharks.
You know why? I know why.
Yeah, tell me.
This is happening because there's two reasons. They got a little bit of mojo going on in the room, and we've got Mario Ferraro coming on the pod in a couple of weeks here, so he can speak to some. Well, he won't speak to this.
Yeah. Mario Ferraro used to light me up growing up.
Oh, I can't wait for that conversation.
He and I played in the GTHL together. He was, a very smooth skating defenseman since I can remember, and used to go end to end whenever he wanted.
Yeah, I'm calling it right now. He's going to be one of the funniest guests we'll.
That's
ever
great,
have.
And he's one of the nicest guys.
He's a riot.
Yeah.
He's coming on the pod again. He won't speak to this because what I'm about to say is absurd. I think the two reasons that they have gone back into tank mode is, one, they heard us talking about the Celebrini to Chicago conspiracy, and they were like, we can't even let this be a question. But I've got bad news for you, Sharks. With the lottery ball situation,
it's still a question.
It's not up to you.
Yep.
So Celebrini's dad works for the Golden State Warriors as the head athletic therapist. So I think the draw to San Jose for
bigger
Celebrini
than we might think
makes sense. And like you said, the NHL puts their paws on it.
This is interesting.
Interesting.
This
Blake.
is very interesting.
Hey, that's a +1.
That's a +1 for Blake early.
That's interesting.
That's a first period.
And you know what's? I mean, we said Will Smith and Celebrini playing together. That's pretty good.
Be so fun.
That's pretty
He
groovy.
played U15 AAA with the Sharks, Junior Sharks.
Dude.
All right,
He's a shark.
He's going straight to the
He's a shark.
But I stand by. You know what's even more marketable for the NHL is putting the two Canadian proteges in Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini together.
Well, we can't let the Hawks have everything.
The other thing was this. They had a little bit of mojo going.
Yep.
Makes the boys even closer. You can't. We need them knowing that they're trash, so they can just make sure that they get stuff for Hurdle and Couture at the deadline.
Well, so move those guys out. Yeah.
It's harder to move them out when the boys are buzzing.
Agree.
Even if
while
they're
I'm talking, can you look up the least amount of wins in an 82 game season? Hurdle leads the way, 28 points, 39 games. Couture hasn't even played yet because of the lower body injury. Yep. But he looks really close. I think they said a couple days.
He's skating with a no contact right now.
And it's like he had a 67-point season last year. You know, like he can.
Logan Couture is an amazing player.
He can produce, and he's got this year and 3 more years on his contract at like not a crazy hit. I think it's 8.
Yeah.
So
you know what he feels like to me? He feels like I know this wasn't that similar, but he feels like a Marlowe to the Leafs to me. You know where I would love to see Logan Couture? Montreal.
Oh.
Putting him with that young, because what I was just talking about with this Sharks team, they're in last in their division.
Yep.
And I'm talking about 2 veteran guys, leader guys who have been on the team for a long time, and I'm like, you got to trade them.
Yeah.
This is a business situation. They have no moves, but I don't think that those guys are going. I mean, I know Logan was like, I'm here for the long haul, dude. But I think if you are Greer and you look at a guy like Logan Couture and you're like, dude, you are a legend of this franchise, truly. Mm-hmm. If you go, we're going to get you a chance at a cup maybe sooner than later, and you're helping us.
Yeah.
And I think that is the type of conversation you can have where you leave on good terms.
Yep.
I love the idea of Couture going into a group like the Canadiens.
Yeah, because they get a bunch of kids up there.
Yes.
They can use a guy.
Your captain is Nick Suzuki. You put Couture,
pop an A on his chest.
Another Canadian boy with those guys. I think he would love it in Montreal. I mean, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, who wouldn't love it there? It's a great city.
Guy, a good Canadian boy going to fucking Quebec. I think he would have a blast.
Yep.
And I think that is just a perfect type of personality and player around those young boys. But if he wants to stay in Cali, the Ducks is another one.
Yeah, fair.
You know, I mean, I just think there's stuff here. I don't. But what's tough is that feels more like a summer play to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a move like that.
Yeah, you're not going to see a deadline deal of the Sharks sending Couture to Montreal
or seller
to
a seller.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like it was something like 9-ish. Blakey, was that right? For like the least amount of wins.
Yeah. So unfortunate for the Senators, they hold both records for 9 and for 10. In 1917 and 1918, they had 9 wins. In 1992 and 93, they had 10 wins.
10 wins in
Both
93.
by the Ottawa Senators.
Those couldn't have been
look.
82-game seasons back then, were they? No
don't
way.
know.
No,
Oh, certainly
17,
not.
19, I think, was around 48 games.
Okay.
And the 92, 93 season, I believe,
Oh,
was
but
80
that's
games.
that's
80
that's
game
80
season.
games.
Yeah.
So the Sharks aren't going to break any records right here, but I am curious because you're right. They got hot, and now they're just in that free fall mode again that I was like...
They're 0-11 right now, right?
11 straight, yeah.
their
And
last
I'm like,
11.
the Sharks could win... They got 9 right now. How many games do you think they win this year?
I think the Sharks finish...
In regulation, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Sharks finish with 20
Oh,
wins. No, they have 9 right now?
yeah.
I think they finish with 19.
Okay, I like 20 though. 20 watch is a nice
Yeah, 20
little
spot.
game for the Sharks. We'll see if they
Over
get
under 19 and a half.
over
There
under
it is.
19 and a half
Over
wins for the
19 and a half.
Sharks. Okay, sick.
But yeah, I think, we got yelled at in our Pacific breakdown when we were like blow up this team.
Yep.
And it's the classic question of when do you get more? Let's talk about just Hurdle.
Yep.
If they had traded Hurdle at the beginning of the season, would they have gotten as much, the same, or less? Excuse me, the same, more, or less as they would if they trade him right here at the deadline?
I think you
But-
usually get more over the summer because
Yeah.
more can happen. Like a contender doesn't want to cut their knees off just to get the guy to add them for the cup. It's just harder. Over the summer, 3 teams can come in. It's like
Yep.
a whole production.
You're
You
also
usually
talking
get
about
more.
You're getting a guy for the entire season.
Yep. You usually get more over the summer, and it's tricky because like
He's got to have a new home after the deadline.
you just don't know that they are that. And no knock, Couture and Hurdle are great players, but it's like even a desperate team. I'm not sure. You're like, well, if you get Logan, we win the cup for sure. Like it's kind of harder.
What's interesting is, Blakey, find out for me. Get up Hurdle stats. I want to see what his top season
Most
is.
points.
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
Highest total points in the season is 64, and that was in 21-22.
And 30 goals is his highest goal mark too.
Above that though, do you have 74?
We have
Yes.
pardon me.
Great season
74,
there.
35.
18, 19, and 35 would be his.
Okay, but
highest
he's
goal
never
total.
topped 75.
Yep. I mean, that's a hell of a year though.
Oh yeah, hell of a year. But he's never so he's never had more than 75. He's how old is he? 30?
Yeah, 30 on the
30 years old.
Last year.
I know I've been saying this entire time, do not lose prospects and picks if you are this certain team.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, a nice Czech boy like Tomáš Hertl makes a ton of sense on the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And a guy with that,
High ceiling.
well, no, I'm saying with those high, like his highest benchmark is 74 points, 35 goals. Right now he's playing at 28 points in 39 games or so,
Yeah.
you said. I'm not sure that demands a first round pick.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
Yep, that's
It's just
interesting.
an interesting one to keep an eye on because say what you will about the Bruins and their holes, they are still in first place
Pretty
in the
good.
Atlantic with a firing Florida Panthers team right behind them, and they're still in first. I don't know. That's a very interesting target to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Couture's signed through the 29-30 season. That'll take him to age 36 at 8.1 cap hit.
Yeah.
Like that's a good.
It's a good number.
Guy to
Manageable.
pick up.
Very
Good number.
manageable.
You look at a team like Montreal.
Good number.
I just think that is a summer move.
Summer
I'm gonna
deal.
Take a look at.
All right, let's go World Juniors.
Let's talk World Juniors.
Ba, 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 ba.
Dude. Last episode, it had just happened. We talked about the really upsetting collapse of Canada. USA, most goals in the tournament.
It was ours to lose.
Went up against Sweden, who had given up the fewest goals in the tournament. And waltzed in front of the opposing team's home fans to a dominant
Dick kicking.
6-2 tallywhacking of Sweden.
Yep.
The boys just took care of business. 7 games played in the tournament, I think.
Boom.
Team leaders,
7 wins.
Cutter Gauthier, Gabe Perreault, Will Smith, Rucker McGroarty, Gavin Brindley.
Isaac
Howard,
sick
great
game
tournament.
That was the gold medal game, right? Yeah, sick game.
So the big boys did their job. They took care of business, got a gold that they all really wanted. We had a great conversation with Cutter on the pod. We had a great conversation with Will Smith on the pod. Both of them really mentioned this tournament and how much they wanted this. I loved the bad blood in this game.
Me too, dude.
And I don't know that it's getting talked about enough. There were a few posts that went out and people were like, look at this huge hit. Fisticuffs. Two guys, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Isaac. Two guys were fighting.
Yeah, which never
cannot do.
It was Cutter in the handshake line and Lecker-Mackey going at each other.
Yep.
And I think it was Cutter as well going after someone, and then Lane Hudson also came in for a good old locker box.
See if you can find the clip right now. There was a full on Bucky's off, no glove drop, but they were fighting. And you could tell they were both going, should I throw punches right now? And they kind of timidly threw a few, but
can't get sussy. No more games.
Monster hit from Rutger McGroarty, I believe, or it might have been Jimmy Snuggerud, but who was that monster hit in open ice? Clean hit, no penalty called.
It was,
I think it was Rucker.
Oh man,
find that while I'm talking.
Yep.
But a monster open ice hit. We've got Ryan Leonard scoring a sick goal and blowing a kiss in the stands.
Yeah, it was Rucker. Yep.
It was Rucker. Yeah. It was just, and I think Rutger was also dancing full Dean Portman style in the box. I mean, the boys were just really laying it on thick. The Swedish fans were pissed, and it just felt to me like the first time in recent memory where USA and Sweden were hating each other.
Dude, so I was.
You see that a lot with Sweden and Finland. You see it a lot with
USA,
Sweden
Canada.
and Czech. Obviously, USA and Canada. Yep. Pretty much everyone in Russia.
Yeah.
But I have not seen this vitriol between these two teams in a long time, and it was awesome.
Dude, I was reading something, and I should remember this, but because I had the same thought. Where I was like, oh my god, and dude, it was a good. The U.S. rolled was a well-balanced tournament. Obviously, Canada didn't quite live up to what they wanted, and I think people forget this too. There are a ton of dudes that are eligible for this World Juniors team on Canada that aren't playing. Connor Bedard could just be there and they would be winning, but they chose to not send everybody. So we will dance on their graves. But my point is, it was Finland beat Sweden. Czech beat Finland. There was a great parity among those top 5 teams or so. Everyone felt like it had a bit. Finland gave the U.S. a really good game. U.S. was the Czech game that we wanted to shoot out.
Yeah.
US beat Czech in a shootout. It wasn't like we rolled everybody. It was really good. Coming into that gold medal game, I was ready for a tilt. I bet a little bit was, Lockett's taken out of you in that semifinal game if you're Sweden, and just a lot of pressure. It's you're sitting there in front of the home crowd. You want to take it home.
Tons.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was. The game got away from them. But it got so feisty that I was like, oh, wow. And that can happen in a blowout. But a lot of shit I read after the game was them being like, yeah, obviously we have a fucking insane rivalry with Sweden.
So something that I wanted to bring up, do you think, and I look at, we had Will Smith in the pod and we hear all these stories that he's talking about. And then you see these guys, Gabe Perreault, Ryan Leonard. Obviously, you see so many of these guys at this tournament. Do you think the dev program is giving the U.S. a huge advantage in this tournament specifically?
Yes, I see Blake nodding.
I think so. I mean, I look at the Canadian team every year. They're a junior all-star team. They're coming in with no camaraderie, no chemistry. Whereas USA Hockey, almost every year, there's half that team has played together or known each other for X amount of years. Been at similar camps in off seasons. So yeah, I think it's a massive advantage, and I know it's something that Hockey Canada has always wanted to try and model and kind of replicate. But yeah, that USA program definitely helps them a lot,
dude. And it's obviously paying dividends in this tournament. And not that the whole world has changed, but it's been really cool to see the 3 BC kids at the dev program together, go to college together. I'll be interested to see if that happens more often. I'm not saying like
Agree.
this is gonna happen all the time, but it's like these kids grow up in Michigan playing together,
Yep.
becoming boys, playing on a line, and when they're making their college commitments, it's like, dude, why don't we go like win a World Junior Gold? We'll all go to wherever, Denver, BU, wherever you want to go, and then we'll all go in the first round.
Yeah,
I'm like, that is sick.
I look at Will and his boys and the way they did it, and I'm like, why would you just obviously not? Dude, I could be committed to Wisconsin. And if I went to the US Dev program and my boys there were like this, oh, we're all going to BU or we're all going to Michigan.
Yeah.
I'd go like this. Let's just talk right now and figure out where we want to go.
Yeah.
And go there together.
Right?
I wouldn't even be in a question.
No, agree, dude.
Unless I had family legacy stuff like Smitty did,
Yeah.
I would legit be like this. I will go wherever you guys want.
And it's like,
I'll go to fucking St. Cloud State if you want. But
And
them
win a
playing
natty.
together is the biggest no-brainer in
dude,
the world.
there's all those jokes about
I
NBA.
didn't mean to chirp St. Cloud
Yeah,
like that.
great program.
So the USNTDP was founded and started in 1996.
Yep.
Look at all of their gold medals
That's
since
crazy.
it's all
dude.
passed. So
Yep.
you can see the effect that
Yep.
the NTDP has had on their international
I mean,
success.
all the medals, honestly. Like, you look at that whole board.
It's truly.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer.
There's 2 medals on here, 2 bronze medals that happened before that.
Yeah,
So
every medal but 2 we've ever won in World Juniors come after.
Yeah.
There was all I was gonna say, Dan. There's all those jokes in the NBA where like they go to the All-Star game and then like LeBron and D Wade and
Yeah.
like they're all like, dude, should we just play together?
Yeah.
Like that's the dev program now for
Yeah.
college. And you got to get if you're college scouting, if you're college recruiting, dude, you got to get in the ear of one of the dev kids early to be
Yeah.
like, get everyone to be you.
And man, you're just seeing. We've talked about this before. The level of quality of play in the NHL from U.S. born kids now, and the amount of them that went to this dev program is astounding. And you gotta wonder. I think because of that, it's also helping college hockey.
Mm-hmm.
College hockey right now is producing more NHLers, more top line first round draft pick NHLers than it ever has.
Yep.
You wonder if Canada might consider doing something like this as opposed to just straight to juniors, which obviously works incredibly well and isn't slowing down at all. But it might be cool if it's just another route.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I wonder. It would be cool if whatever the closest Canadian city to Plymouth or Ann Arbor or wherever they are now.
right.
It would be cool if you did like a neighboring.
Yeah, it's like right
Canadian
across,
city,
like you're looking across
put the Canadian
border.
dev
Yeah.
program
Just turn
there.
the London Knights back into.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm
You got
saying,
the
dude.
money for
Get
it.
the binoculars
Just
going,
put it in
dude.
London. I don't know. It could be cool. I
That'd
mean,
be
I
really
know
cool.
that Canadian listeners right now are rolling their eyes like, shut the fuck up.
Sorry, dude, we won gold.
Juniors is the shit, but last time I checked, we won gold this year and you didn't. So maybe take a page out
Yep.
of our book, fuckers.
But maybe let's hear a firsthand account.
Yeah, let's kick it to our boy Will Smith. Join in real quick to talk to us about the experience of winning gold. Can't wait. Dude, how do you feel? Like, did you get home from Sweden today or yesterday or what's going on?
We actually got home 2 days ago. So the morning after we won, we were out of there pretty early, and we had a pretty brutal travel day. But after that, it's been good to be home.
Yeah. Were you just buzzing the entire time after winning gold up until you just got back?
Yeah, we had it was a good celebration. We wore our gold medals to the airport, and I mean, we had a couple of us had a 6-hour layover in London, but we made sure. I mean, it felt a lot better that we won.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you get to do something in London or were you just kind of sitting there?
We were kind of just sitting there and chopping it up at this breakfast spot.
Love that. Where is your gold medal right now?
Right now, it's in my little trophy case in the third floor of my house. So I made sure to get it up there with all my other kind of memorabilia.
Yeah. All right, dude. You know, I like I said, I don't want to take too much of your time. Just give me your quick elevator pitch of how it went. Like, how was the whole tournament for you personally, for you guys as a team? Was there any part where you were thinking, oh shit, we don't have it? You know, what was the toughest game? What was the full scale of emotions you guys went through?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously the whole tournament's kind of, I mean, you have the prelims and then the medal rounds. You obviously are looking forward to the medal rounds, but we knew we had to take care of business first. And we had played Czech, and they took us to a shootout. So obviously we had some competition in the first couple games, but even that game, we weren't worried too much about what was going to happen. We just kind of stayed true to our game. And then as the medal rounds came around, we knew we kind of had to step it up as it was do or die. And I mean, we were down 2-0 to Finland in the first period, but there was still no worry in the locker room about what was going to happen. And then when that gold medal game came around, I mean, I think everyone was so fired up that we were like, we're not going to leave this one a chance, and we're just going to go out there and just try to kill them.
Dude, that's what it looked like. I think, the obvious topic that we need to get into here is that was without question the most entertaining gold medal World Juniors game I've ever seen as far as the energy and the chippiness and the bad blood. So I don't think people think about USA-Sweden as that much of a rivalry, but it sounds like you boys sort of feel like you have a bit of a rivalry with those guys. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it. Like, that's our new kind of USA-Canada I mean, I've played Sweden in a gold medal game 3 years in a row now. That doesn't happen too often where you play the same country. So, like I said, I mean, that's kind of the new rivalry, and I'm sure there'll be many more of those games coming in the future.
When you went into the game, obviously you said you were confident, you were fired up. At what point in the game did you feel like you could feel the scales kind of tipping in your favor? And then also, was there a moment, was it the Rutger hit when you guys were like, oh shit, this is getting chippy out here?
I would probably say when Zever scored at the start of the third period off that little face-off play is when we were like, all right, if that's going in, then feels good. We're up 2 now. I mean, they got a big goal at the end of the second period, made it back to a 1-goal game. So I think people kind of forget that it was pretty close starting the third. But I mean, after that one went in, and when Rutt had that big hit, it kind of just started to get chippy, and the crowd was pretty into it. I mean, they were letting us hear it with the boos. So it was an unbelievable atmosphere, and it was crazy to go in there and beat the home country in their home barn.
Were you guys giving it right back on the ice? Like, how much was the chirping flying around on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't just taking it; we were giving it too. I mean, they're gonna chirp us, we're gonna give it back to them, and obviously Lenny had that celly, which was absurd, but it was getting pretty chippy out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So in the handshake line, there's that obvious moment, and tell us what you can. But there's that obvious moment in the handshake line where Cuts gets to that one guy, something said, and they both kind of stop and turn back to each other, and that's when all the mayhem starts. What the fuck went on there? Tell us what you can, but clearly that was not a friendly handshake line.
Yeah, to be honest, I've only heard bits and pieces of what happened. I mean, we saw it on, I think, Instagram or something of the video of whatever happened right there, but obviously something was said, and the kid on Sweden obviously didn't like what Cutter said, but I mean, I'll let him be the one to debunk what he said there.
Yeah, when I talk to him in a little bit, I'm going to make sure he dishes out exactly what was said there, because we all need to know. Was that for you sort of the most emotional in that sense game that you've played in all of these World Juniors tournaments? Because I mean, from a fan's perspective, that was crazy. That was entertainment on a level that I don't think we've seen in a long time.
Definitely. I mean, we obviously going in that game knew how big of a game was, but after winning it, it's blown up. I mean, seeing these videos everywhere on Twitter with millions and millions of views of, showing just how proud we were to, represent our country. And I mean, we say how much of an honor it is, but it really is every single time we put that logo on our chest. It's like we're representing more than just, we're a World Junior Championship. We're playing for our country here, and to be able to sing our national anthem there was one of the best moments I've had in my life.
Dude, the video of you guys belting out the national anthem was iconic. Like that's the stuff, I feel like, I know you guys did the chant from 10 or so years ago, the boys doing the locker room chant, but that one kind of has lived in infamy now, and I think you guys singing that national anthem is just going to be something that World Juniors teams of the future watch every single year, because it fired people up to no end. It was awesome. So, you've been in tons of games like this. You've been in medal games like this. What does it feel like, or try to compare the feelings of when you're in a game that's more of a tilt, right? It's a 1-goal game. It's a tie game going into the final seconds. What did it feel like for you with this one, having this 4-goal cushion as the clock is ticking down? Were you kind of blacked out, just being like, holy shit, we did it? Or did you have a second to sort of soak it all in on the bench and on the ice and being like, fuck, this is awesome. We're just kind of coasting to the end of the game here, knowing that you've won gold. What does that feel like?
There's a little bit of both. I think obviously the tight games, you weren't even thinking during that time. You're like, you look back the day after, you're like, oh my God, what was happening? But because we were winning by so much, you try to soak it in. But because there was all the fights and the booing and everything going on, that you kind of just, it was kind of mayhem. And I mean, yesterday, the day after at the airport, we were kind of sitting there and be like, wow, we just won World Juniors. Like that's crazy. Like we grew up watching this tournament and that was our dream. So, I mean, to do that and to be able to soak it in with a 4-goal cushion is pretty nice.
Yeah. We always talk about, fans getting into it, booing you guys, giving you shit. It's part of the game. It's part of why we love it. Were the fans chirping you in English or in Swedish or both?
So it was a little bit of both. I mean, walking out of the tunnel, you kind of heard a mix of both languages. I mean, obviously we couldn't understand whatever they were saying in Swedish. So, but if they said something in English, we definitely heard it. But the boos were loud, and I mean, just the whole atmosphere was like a soccer game, the jumping around and the drums. So it was amazing.
Like you said, you've played these guys 3 years in a row now. Did it feel a little sweet winning this gold on their home turf?
Definitely. I mean, I think that just multiplied the feeling of how good it felt. I mean, like I said earlier, we played them 3 times in a row. So now, I mean, we're up 2-1 in the gold medal race. So it feels pretty good.
Hell yeah, man. It's the rubber match. That's huge to get it. What was this? It's so hard to put into words, but when we had our great episode a couple months ago, you got to talk all about the dev program and playing with your buddies, both, there, then at BC and now here again. As who knows what's going to happen, but this could be your last show in the World Juniors. Was there any special element for you, sitting with your buddies being like, fuck yes, we did it. Like we just said, the rubber match, in the days following, did you have any moments there to kind of sit there and just really relish in the fact that you were able to get this done with this group of guys you've been playing with for so long now?
I think honestly, just on the bench, I don't know if there's a camera of our bench, but it was us 3 at the far end, and we kind of were just going nuts, hugging each other, and then just after the locker room, just trying to take some photos just to kind of remember the moment of us being there. And but after that, the night was just all celebration with everyone. So I think I'm going to see those guys in a bit. Like I said, I got to pick up Gable from the airport. So yeah. Once I see him, and then Lenny's, I think, at the hotel right now. So it's the first time I've seen them since then. And right now we got to pick up back on the BC season. But it's been crazy. I mean, our group chat was just photos, everything. It was just crazy to just look back on.
Oh my God, dude, it's the best. So do you have a moment you can share that has been one of the, in all the celebration in these last couple of days, what's been one of the most fun moments, funny things that's happened with all the boys just ripping it up?
Honestly, so we had this thing on our team with this a coin from our team doctor, and if you didn't have it, you had to sing. So it was the party celebration at the end at the hotel, and a couple of guys didn't have their coins, so I think they had to get up and sing in front of everyone. It was either God Bless America or We Are the Champions, but either one, it was the whole entire place was singing, so it was awesome.
Who had the most brutal performance?
Ooh, that's tough.
With that reaction, there was a bunch of pretty tough ones.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch. Probably Terrence, and I think Moore had a pretty funny one at the steakhouse. It was pretty good.
There you go. And you just said, now you got to focus back on the BC season. How hard or easy has it been for you to kind of click in? And I feel like something that's really cool getting to talk to you again is, when we talked a couple months ago, there's a checklist, right? Things that you're going for this season, and you got to kind of take it one step at a time. And here we go, man. That was number 1, right? Winning gold at World Juniors, checked off the list. So how, like I said, how tough or hard or easy has it been for you to go, all right, back to BC. Here we go. We got the Beanpot coming up here soon. Where's your head at right now?
I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, we won gold medal at World Juniors. That was obviously first on the checklist to get done, and then now we're back with BC, and we have the Beanpot coming up, and we played BU 3 times, and I think within a week, and they're number 2 team in the nation. So this week when we play Providence, and they're a top 10 team, so we're coming right back into the thick of it. We got no time to waste. I mean, these are huge games for the pairwise, and I mean, we got 2 days of practice to get back in action, and it's BC rest of the way.
Yeah. Do you kind of love that element of it? How it's just, you're obviously overseas playing in this insane tournament, and you come right back and you're right back on the ice with your other boys. Do you like how fast that happens? Is there a part of you that's like, fuck, I'd love a day of a breather, or, how do you feel?
No, I like it a lot. I mean, Snuggie had to go back and play 2 games within, I think, a day of even arriving, and he had 5 goals in the 2 games. So yeah. I think it's nice to get right back into it. Obviously, you want your body to adjust a little bit to the time change, and obviously you're a little worn down, but we'd rather get back into it than having to wait a little bit.
It's beautiful, dude. Well, listen, man, I'm so glad that you could jump on with us. We just wanted to hear it right from you about how unreal this was. We've been rooting for you the whole way. And like you said, dude, next up, Beanpot right around the corner. We'll see you there. We'll be in Boston for it. And let's get that next checklist, I'd say, eh?
Perfect. Thanks for having me. And can't wait to see you guys when you're out in Boston.
Hell yeah, man. Tell Gabe we say what's up, and make sure that he has to pay you back for this, because this is a late night Logan pickup, dude. Don't let that slip
it is.
by.
I won't. I'll give him some shit.
Perfect. All right, Smitty. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a brand new BetMGM promo code for you guys, and we are talking bonus bets today, okay? You're going to put in the code NETTERS158. Then all you have to do is go to the BetMGM app, deposit at least $5, and then bet on any game you want. And no matter the outcome, win, sweet, lose, who cares? You get $158 in bonus bets from BetMGM straight into your account, and you can use that money to start racking up those wins. That's Netters, NETTERS 158. Do it now. Disclaimer, see BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers are available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Huge shout out to Smitty. Unbelievable experience.
What a time the boys had, dude. What a time the boys had.
Just remarkable stuff. Let's strap on those buckets and get into hot ice, starting with All-Stars.
Okay, the names are out. The fans are going to select the final 12 players, 8 skaters, 4 goalies. Get on the website, vote right now. We want Fantilli there. We want to hang out with him.
Huge.
I want to see my son.
We want to hang out with fans, but more than anything, Adam deserves to be in this.
Yeah, he does.
He is the bright spot for this struggling Columbus team. They've been through a ton, but they've got their amazing first-round pick who's performing. He is just the best professional player, kid you could ever dream of, and what an experience it would be for him to go play in Toronto in his first year in the league. Let's get him there. You can vote up to 10 times a day.
Yeah, do it.
We've been posting the link. Pick your other players. You can fill out tons.
Yeah.
But put Fance in there.
Just get Adam on
Let's get him to Toronto. Let's make this happen. Do it. How do you feel about the one from every team?
I fucking hate it, dude. I fucking hate it. And I'm sorry. I know I should like it, and I know
No, you shouldn't.
that teams want their players there. But I'm like, dude, what are we talking about here?
I want to be very clear. I get it.
Yeah.
It from a marketing standpoint and for the league, you can't have entire fan bases and cities not watching the All-Star game because they have no vested interest. There's no player there. But they need to figure something out. There needs to be, you need to start doing what the NFL does or what the NBA does in a sense in like, here's the all NBA team and then here's the all NHL team, but then here's the All-Star. Like, get guys in if you need, but dude, it's starting to feel like the Pro Bowl shit in that they mean nothing. This measurable, used to help guys get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right.
And now you're looking at, I mean, the fact that William Nylander, the fact that Brock Besser, JT Miller, these are guys that aren't named All-Stars right now and might not be.
Yep.
It's just insane.
Dude.
It's insane the amount of guys that will not be named All-Stars.
The point, and I know the game across every major sport, but the game is like fucked and it's not super competitive and whatever. But my point is this. If you are a hockey fan, if you are a fan of the NHL product, the NHL gets it in their heads that they're like, oh, a Sharks fan is only going to watch the All-Star game if I put Tomas Hertl in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they are trying to watch the best possible hockey. Like, it's a cool spectacle to be like, oh, all the stars are there. I'm, yes, a Sharks fan, but I'm actually looking forward to not watching the fucking dickless Sharks for 5 seconds and actually watching the sickest players in the league play hockey.
Yeah.
That would be sick. So
I know.
I don't understand how one dude from the worst team I've seen in 20 years, and Hurdle's a great player, and like I'm glad he's in the game, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not getting eyeballs to the game. Get eyeballs to the game by putting the biggest stars there.
Yeah, I mean, agree. It's interesting because we laughed at Bjorkstrand's reaction to being named. Like, he was fucking furious,
Dude.
So let's first call it out. We talked about it last year. Guys don't want to go to this game.
Dude, Dave, though, I actually want to just interject really quickly. So I got to go to the Kraken facilities, and I met their PR, this woman, Lindsay. She's an incredible person. We're going to be doing a lot of hanging. She's going to be in Toronto. And she was like, I know who's picked. I just can't tell you yet because I don't want it to break. And you're fucking media, you nerd. And I was like, you're right, I have media. Don't tell me. But then I saw the video leak, and I was like, I was dying too because he's not happy. Or he doesn't look that happy. And Dave didn't really put a lot of pizzazz on it. You know, I was like, dude, what was this announcement, man? Like, I needed so much more from both of them.
Yeah, Hack kind of delivered it still in that deadpan, like we're having a meeting.
So, you know,
think you can cancel that trip?
Can you go to Toronto? And I was like, okay.
He's like, oh.
Like, I needed to be like, you're an all-star, big boy. Yeah, like.
It's funny, though, because like, there's a world where he does that, too, and Bjorkstrand's like, oh, yeah, oh,
actually
shit.
Can't cancel,
yeah.
so.
He's just still pissed, and it looks even worse. But when you have the game, I'm sorry, it loses a little bit of its pizzazz when it's not the best. And let's call it what it is. We're not suing anybody.
Yeah.
This is not the best, however many players in the league right now.
And to be very candid, I know most listeners know this, but some guys just don't want to go, right? Like, it's easy for me to be like, just put the best stars there, because a lot of the stars are like, no.
Yeah.
So you got to do something. But I still think there's a better solution that doesn't demand one per team.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you'd see decent love. I wonder,
what are we doing? Click on Tage Thompson right now, or go look up his Wikipedia or whatever, because he was named last year. Got hurt, and then Dolls had to come.
Yep.
He still gets All-Star on his resume, right?
Dude, I actually don't know, Dan, because I remember seeing some crazy stats about someone's, like, it's like Sid, All-Star appearances 4. And I was like, what? But it's like, actually, I bet I can find it right here.
Yeah, I think we'll just find out wherever it is, because there should be just a situation where that happens.
Yeah, like this says Cindy Crosby's 6th All-Star appearance this year. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And because it literally means appearance.
He has appeared.
Showed up.
But if you go to his Wikipedia, does it say All-Star every year?
Yeah, good question. Go to his hockey reference, actually. That's usually a pretty good one.
Yeah, they show those.
Yeah, because it shows you how many times
if you go to Tage Thompson hockey reference, I bet it shows it.
While that's coming up, any first-timers specifically, Dan, you're super pumped about?
Otter.
Can't believe that, dude.
Yeah. Thrilled for Otter.
Did he miss last year? Same deal? Scroll all the way down,
no,
Blake. There's
Robo.
like an awards
Robo
section.
Was a weapon.
Keep going. It's like way down.
Oh, yeah. Look at all
And then it has like, I'll be interested to see what this says. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So, yeah, Dan, it doesn't have All-Star. Like, it would have said All-Star 1 and it lists the year.
That's dumb.
I like, so Bedard's going to miss out on...
Yeah.
Yeah, not an All-Star.
Also,
Who from that team is replacing him?
Dude, like Nick Foligno.
Yeah,
It's like...
He got injured in the same game.
Yeah.
He got injured in the fight when he stood up for him.
That is dumb.
Yeah,
Like he was
and
named
maybe
an all-star.
Hockey Reference is dope, but maybe that's like not gospel either. But it's a weird dynamic.
They got to figure this shit out.
Yep.
Because I mean that's crazy. Also Bedard, from just a marketing standpoint, the league right now is like, are you fucking kidding me? And to the point where I wonder if he bubbles it. Because he's listed 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
He could easily come do that. I mean,
no contact.
just
Don't go do the skills comp.
Yeah.
Don't play in the game. Go
Right.
do the skills and whatever.
Otter pumped about good one. Elias Lindholm first appearance is bonkers to me.
I don't think so.
He had that one monster year though.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I'm just shocked he didn't get in
I'm
that
pretty
season.
sure that one monster year was when Matty Tkachuk went dumb numbies as well.
and
so,
Johnny.
Yeah. It was Johnny.
Yeah.
I think.
And then, but the sick one, dude, from your Anaheim Ducks, Frank Vetrano.
Yeah, Frank Vetrano
Sick,
is
dude.
an awesome.
I've been banging that drum for years that he's one of the most underrated players in the league. What NHL shot on that man.
That one is awesome. It's again, there's just so many guys where I'm like, this person's an all-star. They should.
Oh,
be
dude,
in the
it's
game.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's.
I do think, I don't know. I know it's not all fan voting, but the one thing I would be afraid of slightly is the huge market bias. You know, if it was like 5 Leafs on the team and, 3 Bruins,
I think
you're like, dude.
As much as I am like, put the best players in the league.
Yep.
I think you could put a cap, like 3.
Yeah.
You can't have more than 3 from a team.
Yep.
Because I don't think you'd get into that much. Because there was 3. I think there was 3. There was Dry, Connor, and Skinner last year.
Yeah.
There was. I'm pretty sure Mitch and Austin were there last year for Toronto. I think maybe one more.
Yeah.
But there was a couple to maybe a few teams that had 3.
Yeah. That feels good.
So, yeah, I mean, also we said it. I'm pretty sure first for Cam Talbot.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Actually,
Not first. Okay.
Not first.
Yeah, not his
But that was a
first.
fun one.
That's super fun. His second appearance. But we were laughing
I wanted
earlier.
Cube though.
Yeah, we
Or
were laughing
Trev.
earlier where it's kind of like, well, you can say it. It was a good take about how Cam gets in there.
Yeah.
Or
So I
it's an
think
interesting
Cam's
choice, I guess.
36. I thought he was older.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old, not 33.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of how it will work is the NHL will approach front offices and say, we want, say for the Kings, we want Kopitar to be the all-star.
Yeah.
The front hockey ops would then go to Kopitar and see, hey, Kopi, you want to do it? I already have my flights booked to the Bahamas. So, and then it's like, okay, who's next? And then the NHL kind of will then go, okay, well, how about these 3 players? Who out of these 3 would be interested? And then it also is a discussion within the coaches and the front office of who they want. Because I'm sure the NHL pitched QB Trevor Moore, but I think the decision does boil down to the team. So I think that's kind of how it went. And touching on the point about Dave Haxtell's video, did you guys see Todd McClellan's video with telling Cam he got?
No, I didn't see that one yet.
So similar, or not similar, but he goes, yeah, I guess we're told we have to do this on social media. And he goes, what are you talking about? And he goes, you're going to Toronto. And so that's how he told him. And it's just so funny how
That's
these
so
coaches,
Todd.
Yeah.
these coaches are just like, I got to do this.
Yeah.
You got this. Great. See ya. Congrats.
Unbelievable.
And this is clearly what happened in New York because Panarin was most certainly named, and they were like, he has a baby due.
So isn't that interesting? Like the
can't
league
go.
will kind of be like, here's 3 guys, like
Yeah.
who will come?
Also,
Or
I
not
think
who will
there's
come.
a
like,
lack
yeah.
of good goalies this year.
Dude, I was actually
I think-
wondering that.
Well,
if
it's
they
funny
were like,
because
we need
Olmark
someone-
and Swayman should both be in it.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
go Pasta, which is so fucking dumb to me.
Yeah.
Because do you think Pasta is not getting fan voted in?
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break.
Crazy.
And there's no Atlantic goalie named, I believe.
No, they didn't. They didn't do one.
So
dude.
it's like,
so funny.
just give that to Swayman, obviously.
Yep.
And then Pasta will most certainly get
Dude,
voted
who
in.
went? Oh, Cam went from the Pacific. Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's like Aiden Hill is like leading the league in everything, and they're like not in.
Well, I think if you're looking at I don't know how they're doing it, if it's 2 goalies per division, and if that is, then there's going to be 1 goalie or 2 goalies in there that you're like, how did you make it here?
Yeah. Oh, dude, what were you saying earlier too about the
So
this is
the
hilarious.
skills competition this year, it starts with 12 guys, and then they do a round of cuts, and it goes to 8. And when they go to 8, they do a shootout. And the shootout isn't do your craziest deke; it's like actually shoot to score. But whoever's in last place when they make those cuts, so whoever's in 8th place gets to pick their goalie first.
That he wants to shoot on.
So that he wants to shoot
and he wants
on.
to win the competition.
So say I'm McDavid and I'm in 8th place and I see Jacob Markstrom there, and then there's compared to Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, Sorokin. Obviously, you're going to choose Markstrom. So some goalies are going to get humiliated.
Going to get dummied, like, because they're going to be like, Cam. You're like, dude,
yeah.
It's like picking
tough,
teams in
It's like,
elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when Kessel was the last pick.
But hey, dude, rise up. Markstrom stones McDavid 10 times in a row, and you're like, bitch. Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
So that'll be cool.
So it's, here's the deal. These guys, when we say these guys don't want to go, we're saying it's because they get the one break in the middle of the season that they possibly can, and these guys have families with kids and lovely wives and girlfriends, and they want to go on a vacation. There's nothing wrong. We're not saying that it's not an honor.
And to be clear, sometimes, and I don't know if this happened with the Bees, but circumstances can arise where they're like, Kopi's going to get fan voted in, so let's give it to Cam because he wouldn't have got fan voted in. Or, Sid is going this year, but like Sid's been to 5 already, and Getzel's, I don't know how many he's been to, but you know my point.
Yeah.
Like the team can make a choice to give a player an honor who hasn't been given the honor. So it's not all.
That said, when they go, it's a blast. Toronto is going to be so fun. That's
I can't wait.
I mean, cold weather city in January or February. What are we going to do other than drink and party? So it's going to be really good.
And the draft is back this year. That should be really
exciting. Yeah, with celebrities, dude.
Yes.
Celebrity draft.
That's going to be a really fun time. So great list of guys. We're not going to go through it, but great list of guys. More to come, obviously.
Yep.
Get Vance in there.
Let's do it. Come on. That's my boy.
What do you got next?
Let's get to Bedsy, the little injured all-star.
We just touched on it. Connor Bedard has a fractured jaw, out 4 to 6 weeks. What has already been a just bizarrely bad and awkward season for Chicago gets a little worse. Your star player misses time. More than anything, it sucks that we're getting Bedard's season cut short.
Yes.
Not at all what you wanted. Here's something that we've talked about many times. I don't even know how to say this.
Yep.
What I want to say right now is I hated the response after that hit. The immediate Foligno injures himself, but Foligno, the rest of the guys jumping. Well, who was it? Brendan Smith.
Yeah.
Jumping Brendan Smith, getting in a fight. You just popped our guy. I obviously don't hate that because it's your star.
Yep.
It's your future. You got to defend him. But it's what we talked about. It's like that was just a clean hit.
Yeah.
It was a clean, good hit that Bedard wasn't protecting himself. I'm not being like, fuck you, but we all have those plays. But he just got caught sleeping. And he got popped and he got injured. And I'm kind of just like, it's a little annoying that turns into like a full ice brawl because Connor wasn't paying attention in that moment.
And you're that's the end of your thought because you're always on that side. I feel like.
Yeah. This is a unique one because I'm like, you have to imagine if they didn't stand up for him.
Okay, so that's what I thought you were going to say. Like in this case, you were going to make an exception to your normal rule.
And I am. That's what I'm saying. There's an exception because it's Bedard and what everyone would be talking about right now if they didn't do that would be a bigger story. So I get it.
Right.
But it's just one of those funny things where Smith in that situation is like, what, dude? I made a fucking hockey play.
Yeah.
I feel like Foligno's contract would have been terminated if he didn't.
Correct.
Terminated on the spot.
Correct.
By Gary.
I'm watching it again.
That's my baby.
He loses it a little bit. He kind of gets like, it's almost, he's not tripped as in it should have been a tripping penalty, but his left skate
He toe picks.
gets hung up on, I think
it's almost like when Eichel got hit in the
Yes,
Stanley Cup
totally.
final.
Yeah. So his left skate gets hung up. He's kind of like stretched out and then he loses the puck. Yeah. So it's one of those tricky ones where, and this actually is really close to the Timo hit, I would say.
Yeah.
When he was like, dude, it's directly to your face. So everyone's like, bro, that's clear head contact. But I'm like, yeah, but he's like leaning forward. His face is kind of lower.
He's shorter.
There's no, he's tiny. There's no high elbow. It's like, I don't know what else you want a defenseman to do in today's NHL. So it's tricky. I was actually shocked. I don't know what you guys thought. I was shocked how badly he got hurt. Like, he went up like this, and I was like, what, did he, like, bite his... I thought he might have lost a tooth or something, and they were like, his jaw
It
shattered.
really did not look like a play. Watching it, I was watching it live, and I wasn't even like, oh, shit. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, Connor. Keep your
got
head
popped
up.
a little bit
Yeah,
there.
it was kind of just like a regular hit.
Yeah, but then he immediately was up off the ice, and he was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no. So, yeah, I it was surprising.
Yeah, so, but bigger point was just, I'm totally fine with the hit. I'm fine with the response, too, because I don't actually mind that stuff that much, but totally fine with the hit. Total bummer for the situation for Bedard. Really well said by you that I'm just like, I want this kid to play as many games as humanly possible.
Exactly.
I'm hoping he'll be back
Me too.
pretty quick. The All-Star break was timed nicely.
We're
in that
probably
sense.
going to get a Bedsy bubble for the rest of the year, though.
That would actually be awesome.
Because I don't see anywhere. I mean, they're certainly not going to shut him down.
Oh, God, no.
And like I said, I think I don't know the state of how he's feeling or the injury, but I think he could be back for the All-Star game. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'd be sick too if he came out, did the skills and all that, and then in the game go take 2 shifts with a bubble on, dude. Like, whatever. I think it'd be great for the game. I think it'd be a cool look for him. They could have a ton of fun with that. Like, they could bring him out in bubble wrap.
Yeah, that would be funny.
But yeah, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
If and when he comes back, I would put a bubble on him for sure and be like,
Chicago needs him to come back and play because they're short on players. They have 9 injuries right now to regular players, and that's not including the Corey Perry situation.
yeah. Dude, I said it yesterday. On the AMA, I was like, you could straight up suit up me for that team right now. They are so short on bodies, it is crazy. The amount of people that they're going to be calling up is pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, the thing I really want to talk about with this, get well soon, Bedsy, is Rookie of the Year race. Because we had a lot of fun with that preseason, stacked rookie class. I think I even said if you gave me the field, if it was Bedard versus the field, I would take the field. I wouldn't have taken any one over him, but I would have bet on the field. And we were high on Levi and all these boys. And then the season started, and I was like, nope, it's Bedard. It's not close. Never mind.
It was close for a bit. It was close through 20 games.
Yeah.
And now it's him.
And if he misses 6 weeks, I'll be interested to see. So my knee jerk was Adam, obviously.
Well, it's interesting. So it's Marco Rossi and Adam Fantilli in second place with 9 points less. I put a lot of stock in plus minus, as you know.
Yep.
And I think it's interesting that Rossi on the struggling Wild is a +8.
Yeah, and Bedsy's a -22.
And Fance is a -13. So that's interesting. And then the other one on Minnesota is Brock Faber.
Dude.
Who's eating minutes,
just
making up big time for Brodin being out, Spurgeon being out.
Yep.
And he's also in the plus column as a defenseman.
Dude.
He's playing penalty kill time. He's got to be up there as one of the top minutes on the defense of that team. So, yeah, depending on how much... Because here's the deal. Let's say Bedard misses 5 weeks. We're going to call that roughly, 50 or 5 weeks. He'll miss like 20 games.
Yeah.
So let's say Bedard misses 20 games. That is a lot of
That's
ground.
a lot, though. Yeah. I bet it's not quite that many, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's...
I don't think they're playing 4 a week.
Yeah, sorry, 15.
Yeah.
15 games. But still, that's a good chunk of games. That creates a good little runway here for guys like Fantilli, Rossi, Luke Hughes, even Evangelista to get some more points. But I still think if Bedard comes back and just keeps playing like he's playing, he's still winning.
Yeah, so I think so too, probably.
Fance and Rossi, sorry to interrupt, but Fance and Rossi are playing at maybe a 50-point pace right now.
Yeah, right.
Like, if they finish strong, they're going to finish with 50.
Yeah, none of the forwards will do it. And by the way, and I still love this kid, and his future's so bright, but Cooley went Cooley.
Yeah.
I would say a little bit. I didn't quite notice because I knew he didn't score for a while, and I was so excited when he got his first tuck, but he's still kind of stuck at 3. He's got plenty of apples, and he's doing fine, but he just hasn't quite hung in as well as I wanted to. He's not that far off. What is he, 18? Yeah, 18. So he's like, it's not like he's 6 points off from Fance, whatever.
Yeah.
But if he starts scoring, watch out. But I think the only way a forward could beat Bedard is if they finish the year with more points than him. Because even if they get close, if they're like, we have the same amount of points, I'm like, yeah, but Bedard did it in
what do you mean the
15
only way?
less games.
And with a bunch of AHLers.
Yeah, with
true.
nobody on the team.
If they don't pass him in points, it's no question still Bedard.
And like I should have said by a lot.
I was saying that there's a world where they do pass him in points, but if Bedard's within even 8, I still think it goes to Bedard because they are a clown show without him. I mean, they did just win, but they're a clown show without him.
And none of the rookie goalies have really done anything that we thought. But Blakey brought up a great point earlier, and you just touched on it. Is the one possible? And I just like the way this award has gone, in the same way the Norris has gone a bit. That it's kind of just like a point race, and it's like that's who's going to win. But if because Faber's at 19 right now.
I think this is what I was going to say is I think Luke Hughes, Minchikov, and Faber are, if Bedard doesn't win, I mean, you know my Mo Sider love. Like, I love when defensemen win this. Because, I mean, to me, like, I'm giving it to Luke probably over Fance and Rossi.
Right, like if Luke...
But then again...
Because Luke's eating 20 plus also, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I think I go
his plus
Luke.
Minus? Yeah, okay, he's right there. Yeah.
It's a dash too.
Yeah. I think I probably go
But
Luke.
if those guys, him and Faber specifically, can hang with the points, like if the points fall off, but they're still eating the minutes and they still have the plus minus, but if the points fall off, I think it's over. But if they stay within range, within shouting distance of Bedard points, and they're playing 24 minutes a night with a positive plus minus, something to think about.
It absolutely is, dude. It absolutely is. Should we get to the elephant in the room?
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm sure you're all annoyed that you had to wait this long.
But I just wanted DP to have to sit on this for a little bit longer before he apologizes to everybody.
This is such bullshit, dude. Like, I'm listen, part of me wanted to come in here and wear a dunce cap.
Yeah.
But I am glad that I made my whole... In fact, I might even go full heel here.
Yeah, do it.
This makes my point.
Do it.
This strengthens my point. I said last episode that Nylander should be traded.
Yeah.
Should.
Be good business. Go get a goalie.
Am I surprised that they re-signed him? No. Do I think it is bad business currently? Yes, and that's fucking obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm so proud of Toronto fans and also so not surprised by Toronto fans in the DMs and the comments. So many of them are like, yeah, I mean, this is insane. And then the other ones are like this is how you build winning culture, dude. Someone came in our DMs talking all about this, and they were talking, they were just doing the classic delusional, it works out. We've got rookies. We'll fill out these slots. There's 9 23-man roster slots that we need to fill, and Nylander's contract just took 38% of it.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. And then they were going to 2 years from now, and they were like, Mitch, we can re-sign Mitch at the exact same number. He won't want a pay raise.
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yep.
And then they go, and Tavares, he'll take a hometown discount because he knows what an honor it is to play in Toronto. And I'm like, man, you guys are actually insane.
Yep.
And dude, is it an honor to play in Toronto? Sure, to an extent. It's a great barn. It's an Original Six team. It's one of the great North American cities and certainly one of the great hockey cities. But dude, you're a joke. You're a laughingstock of the NHL, and you have been for a decade. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful, Toronto's such a clown show, but it's like, the results you've had have led to this funny joke of, holy shit, it is so tough being a Maple Leafs fan.
Mm-hmm. I think that and we've been all saying this to a degree, but it's like, it doesn't kick in until next year, right? Like the big hits are next year because you still are on the books for Tavares and Marner one more year.
Yeah.
So when you go Tavares 11, Marner 10-9, I think it is, Austin
13.25,
Willie 11.5. Thank you. Yeah. And honestly, by the way, just to interrupt myself, I thought Willie was going to get 12. So I'm kind of like, this was actually a little bit of a win.
Did you really?
Yeah, I thought he was going to get 12.
I mean, that's crazy, dude.
Not here though. I was like, he could get
even
12.
Still, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, yeah, he could. If you want to go, if some idiot team was looking at the cap's going to go up.
Yeah.
Just so everyone remembers. We all thought the cap was going to go up last year, and it didn't.
Right. Yep.
And we all thought it was going to go up by X amount this next summer, and it went up by, I think, 2 million less than we thought. So everyone always says it's going to go up by 4 million every season. It doesn't fucking happen all the time. So there could have been some idiot team that was like, here's 12. But it's like, dude, I think Willie's amazing. He's obviously having a great year, but he's playing with fucking Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and John Tavares and Morgan Riley.
What was his stats last year?
Dude, this is my point. His best year ever was 87 points and I think 40 goals last
40
year.
40 tucks.
Yeah.
And before that, it was 34 goals.
Yeah.
So you're now talking about a guy, and it's year by year. I'm not going back on what I've said before on both the story and the pod. But this is a guy who's now making more than David Pastrnak.
How old is he?
28, 27, 28?
27.
Yep.
27.
Yeah, that's a great point, Dan.
So this is a guy that's he's under contract until he's 35. That's great.
Yep.
But this is a guy who's never sniffed 100 points, who's never sniffed 50 goals, who I think is going to sniff 50 goals this year.
Yep.
And he might sniff 100 points this year. But
projected to get 120 points this season.
Yep.
Obviously, that'll probably tail down a little bit.
Maybe not, though. Like, I think he's going to finish with like 115 points. And dude, in a contract year, what more could you possibly want?
Yep.
But it's like, when you look at his numbers, yeah, he's playing amazing right now. But to get 12, I thought that would have been crazy. I thought 11. I was like, he's going to get 11.
Yep.
And frankly, I looked at Pasta and it was like, this is perfect. He's going to get exactly what Pasta's going to get. And he essentially did. He got 250K more. And when you look at the Leafs cap situation, and with having just given Austin Matthews 13.25, I was like, oh, maybe he won't get a little more than Pasta. That would be crazy. But then they just did it.
Dude, and Dan, on that topic or on that point, I made a joke. Well, I wasn't kidding, but I was making light of it. But it's like, to me, fucking contract negotiations are hard. Like, it's not fun. It's not pleasant for the team, for the player, for the agents. If you were the Leafs coming into the Matthews thing, in my head, I was like, you either have to get term from him, or you have to get a discount from him. And they got fucking bitch slapped twice. And I was like, that is crazy. And I'm not saying it was a bad.
You would have preferred a bridge deal?
No, he got like 4. How many years did he get?
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Austin.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
So I'm like, you had to get term.
3 or 4?
Or you had to get him down. Like, either 8 years at 13 and I'll live, or like 4 at fucking 6 and I'll pay, or more than that, but like 4 at 8.5 and I'll pay you next time. Whatever. They got neither. So I'm like, how do you lose that negotiation so hard? And then if you...
Oh my God.
Something sick just happened?
Holy shit. Breaking news. Monster breaking news. If this is real.
Check the Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Breaking news. The Anaheim Ducks have acquired Cutter Gauthier from the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for defenseman Jamie Drysdale and a second-round pick.
What?
Whoa, dude.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing, Philly?
Dude, here's the thing. I love what Anaheim's building. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Drysdale was like...
Hold on, I'm messaging Cutter right.
Yeah, because, dude, he's literally about on a flight back tomorrow. He's about to hit us up. Because they're like...
Hold on. Are we taking a break in Nylander Talk to talk about this right now?
Yeah, I have to.
We have to, right? Okay. We're taking a break, and we're going to talk about this trade. This is the Flyers going like this. We are in it, dude. Like,
okay, yes, that's what I'm saying. I love the belief. What's his number? 2-3?
I can't believe that trade by the Flyers. Cutter just led the U.S. in points in the World Juniors gold medal. He is dominating for BC right now. What the fuck? That was their first round pick, 3 years ago?
Fifth overall.
Fifth overall, and you got back Drysdale and a second rounder? What is Drysdale's points right now?
I'm just looking right now.
Drysdale has 5 points.
But he came off shoulder surgery. Yeah.
Dude,
I get why Anaheim is making that trade. They have an overflow of young defensemen.
Right.
Yep.
So it's a great trade for Anaheim.
You know why this trade happened?
It's a great trade for Anaheim.
You know why this trade happened? Minchikov. 100%. Minchikov having the year he's having right now is why they are like, we can move Drysdale.
And do they have more insight on what's the Russian the Flyers just drafted?
Michkov.
Yes.
Yep. Maybe.
Maybe there's some insight that he's coming over because that was your top center prospect,
dude,
who is amazing.
Yeah,
and playing amazing.
You just came off a big high. Like, what is?
They're gonna win a natty, dude. Oh wow, I'm looking up Ducks lines, dude.
Imagine your centers: McTavish, Gauthier, Zegras.
Yeah, dude. Or Leo.
Oh
like
my
you've got
dude.
so many.
Oh my God,
Like they got
Leo.
Carlson. Like if you go Carlson,
Dude,
McTavish, Cutter.
Do you think they trade Trevor?
Yeah. I don't think he meshes with their team overall. I think they might be looking to kind of reshape their
And
room.
Killer kind of going now. Fucking Vetrano's an all-star. Like the top 6 is really intriguing.
Yeah.
And you maybe move someone big, bro. They can't trade Trevor though.
So I think this is crazy. I think Minchikov playing as well as he is definitely adds to this.
Yep.
Feeling like they can move Drysdale. Crazy. Also, you know what I love about this, man? There are so many times in the league where someone signs an extension or someone signs a new contract and stuff's not going well and people start talking, you should trade him. And just idiot fans go like this, oh, he just signed a new deal, dude.
Yep.
This is proof positive
Yep.
that this can happen. So I love this in the short term for Philly in that they are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they clearly are like, we're a playoff team, and they just got better.
Yep.
Right now, they just got
They got better right
I
now.
think that they were going to get better the second BC lifted a national championship trophy and Cutter joined the team. But they just got better right now. I love this move for the Ducks.
Same, dude.
I
This
mean,
is a
holy
great trade.
shit. You just got a 5th overall pick who just led Team USA to a gold medal and in points in the World Juniors, is a top 2 or 3 player in points on BC right now, a top team in the country, and is going to be a huge player for you. And you're now adding that to a group of Leo Carlson, Troy Terry, Mason McTavish,
Yep.
and Trevor Zegras. However, this does make me wonder, does Trevor Zegras...
Is someone out the door, dude?
I mean, dude, it makes sense. You look at Cutter as a center.
You've got a lot of centers.
More or
You've got
less-
some centers that can play wing, but you've got
More
a
or
lot
less,
of centers.
Cutter's a center, and you've got... I think Troy plays some wing.
Yeah,
right?
no, Troy, but McTavish
You've
and
got
Carlson.
McTavish
yeah.
and Leo Carlson, and now Cutter Gauthier as centers.
And what's his name's been playing center? Henrique.
Yep.
You know, like,
Yep.
yeah.
And you just look at the situation of, Drysdale just signed this little extension. Trevor just signed this little extension. Drysdale just got traded. What happens to Trevor now? It's something to think about. That is interesting.
Holy shit, dude. That was crazy.
That is crazy breaking news.
Pat Verbeek is definitely trying to reshape.
He
that
sure
locker
is.
room
That-
the
yeah.
way he wants. it.
And I
Yep.
think, Blake, he, even just last year, there was a vision for it. And this summer, I think, changed some things.
Yep.
I think,
Yeah, good point, Dan.
this
I think-
is interesting.
Look at what he did at the draft. Taking Leo Carlson was a bold pick. I think
Huge.
he's willing to make those bold moves.
Yep, this is crazy. Let's jump back into Willie.
Yep.
I don't even know where we left off.
I want to. I do. I'm going to finish my point on
Yeah,
this.
take me away.
It was this. In my opinion, in the negotiations with Austin Matthews, the Leafs front office got bent over the barrel and shown the 50 states by not getting term nor the number down. And then if you are then launching into the Nylander camp, I do not know how you can't look at them if you're the Leafs front office and go like this. I'm not going over Pasta. Obviously, because that's how pro sports work. You look at benchmarks. That's why players' unions always want the top players to get top dollar so they can keep raising the bar for future deals. So it's like if you were in the Leafs front office and they go, I want 11.5. You get 11.5, right? You go, you want more than David Pastrnak? And they have to go, they'll look you in the eye and go, yes. And then you get to go, that's fucking ridiculous. I will give you equal to him, which is also kind of ridiculous, but congratulations because we value you so
Yeah.
much. So my point is, and I know it's a tiny delta, but I'm like, how are you losing all these negotiations? Like, it feels like every time one of their big guys comes up, they lose it so heavily in favor of the player.
I know.
And I'll conclude my point with this. When Matthew signed his deal this year, I went on the story and I laughed really hard at Leafs fans, but I said, and by the way, dude, I'll show it again. I love Austin Matthews. I fucking hope the Leafs win a cup.
I
that
love
would
the
be cool.
Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leafs. I feel like someone said they were like, you have an axe to grind with it. I love the Leafs.
I love the Leafs.
I genuinely do.
So-
why would I? What have the Maple Leafs done to me?
Well, there was a big
other than
it was
other than lose to the Bruins
Yeah, exactly.
and be a cool team.
Yep.
I love the Leafs.
But my point is, I said on the story, better win now, better win this year.
Yeah.
And that's all I meant. Like, yes, you can do this with Nylander this year. And if you hadn't lost if you didn't have such a goalie issue right now, I would be saying the same thing. I'd be like, congrats, win fucking right now. Because next year, it is going to get sticky. I know you've got cap space and whatever, but you have a significant amount of money tied up on 4 guys. A significant amount, and you're going to have a rude awakening how hard 50%. It is to build a fucking team next year. This year, you can fucking win right now. And this move is a win right fucking now, this year, goddamn it, move.
Well, no, it's not, right? I mean, like, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. They didn't have to do anything.
Like,
they didn't have to do
anything. They're just like,
yep.
It's more of like a banking on it.
Yep.
And it just felt like last year they had a better shot than they currently do this year.
Because of the goalie situation.
Yes.
And it raises some questions where I'm like, I guess we kind of just got the breaking news trade segue, but I'm like, we've been bitching like, oh, it's Nylander out for a goalie. It's probably not Nylander anymore, but I'm not saying it's no one.
Yeah.
You know, like if the Leafs make a big move for a goalie, that's not off the table for me still.
Yeah. Last year, I said, just for fun, keep eyes on Austin Matthews not extending and maybe a huge Matthew Tkachuk style trade in the summer. That didn't happen. And I'm happy it didn't happen.
Yep.
I said, I think they should trade Nylander just because I thought it was good business. You can't let him walk for free. And then I didn't think it made sense to pay him this type of money. And I stand by that. But I was obviously wrong on those 2 things. So hands up, both hands up. The smart part of my brain says don't triple down.
Yeah.
But there's the other side of my brain. This is like when you're losing and gambling and
get it all back in one hand.
You got to get it all back in one hand. I just don't see a world. Truly, I don't. Regardless of there's a lot of rumblings right now that Toronto's front office kind of looks at it like, listen, our season tickets are sold through 2040. We're a money machine. If we win a cup, great, but that's not what we care about. And a lot of signs point to that being a reality. There were rumblings that we can't speak to. We're going to say allegedly that there were some trades for Mitch Marner last year.
Yeah,
that got shut
some
down.
offers. Yeah,
that got shut down for one reason or another. I don't see how you can legitimately be a team and not move Marner or Tavares either at this deadline or this summer. I think this summer makes sense because they're both signed through next year. You ride with this team. Willie's extended, but there's a big part of me that just thinks this extension is the Leafs front office, Shanahan and Treliving going, we're going with Willie, not Mitch. And
agree.
And again, it's just
moving
guys,
way forward.
It's just to me, we're gonna round Marner up from 10-9 to 11.
Yep.
You have 4 fucking forwards making 11 million, 10-9 or 10-9 in quotes or more. I just don't see how you can, as a team, honest to God, say we can win with this recipe. You look at if you go on Cap Friendly, shout out Cap Friendly, and you look at their cap card this summer, there's 9 spots in your 23-man roster that you need to fill now. And you had 30 mil, and you just used 38% of that on one guy, on a top winger. And I literally don't see how you can justify going into next season with those 4 guys still on this roster.
The last thing I'm going to ask you about this, and I don't need it to be expanded. I literally just want a yes or no. And the post we did, the Nylander post we did this last week, a lot of comments, a lot of pro trade Willie comments were like, love the take wrong goalie. So for the sake of this, plug in whatever goalie you want, listeners. Like, it's not Gibson, fine, but like it's Carter Hart, it's Saros, like whoever you think you can get that actually would make the Leafs a cup team. I don't want to paint it for you. Do you believe, Dan, simple yes or no, if at this deadline with the Leafs' current roster, if somebody was like, hey, if the Leafs were like, we're trading Mitch Marner for UC Saros or the like, fill in whatever goalie you want, you have a cup team in Toronto?
Absolutely, dude. I think it's what we talked about last episode.
So not to just like be like, well, never mind, we met Marner, but I am saying every argument I made about trading Willie for a goalie last week, I'm now saying about trading Mitch for a goalie. Bring it if you can move Mitch Marner for an elite goalie, I think you do it because it helps your future and gives you a literal better chance to win this year. I literally think that versus just keeping the 4 studs together and rolling the dice on Martin Jones or Wall or Sammer.
You know what's funny to me? what this take is literally my take from last week.
Yes, and that's what I just said. Like it's the
Yeah.
I said literally replace Nylander's name with Marner.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
What's funny is the people screaming at me, calling me an idiot is, I mean, there weren't that many, but there were some Leafs fans, and I'm like, no, dude, it makes sense, and you're right. This is plug and play now.
Yep.
You just signed Willie for 8 years.
Yep.
Mitch has one left. Mitch has maybe not performed that well in the playoffs, dude. I think. Maybe a guy like Saros, again, that one to me doesn't really make sense because I look at the new... Saros is a blue chip.
They also have Eskarov coming up. He's been lighting up the AHL.
He has.
He's been a first-round pick as a goalie.
Toronto does or Nashville does?
Nashville.
Nashville does.
Yaroslav Askarov.
Interesting.
He played his first NHL start about a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Got his win. They sent him back down, but he's getting lots of games down there,
Yep.
and he is definitely ready to be a backup in the NHL.
And him to me, well said, him to me feels like Swayman of
Couple years
two
ago,
seasons
yeah.
ago.
Yep.
When Tuukka came back after his surgery, he played those 2 games. I was like, I'm fucking done, dude. And Swayman had those games, and there were a ton of Bruins beat reporters that were like, this kid, like, forget Olmark. This guy is the future. And then obviously Olmark went nuclear last year, and they have this great tandem. He, to me, feels like he is, next year, he's the backup. He'll be a tandem with someone. But Saros is 29, I think, something like that. He might be 30.
Yeah.
I look at the way that Trotz is kind of building this new team, and we also said Saros has 1 year left.
Yeah.
He's got this year and next year.
Yep.
And that's a big trade piece.
Saros is 28.
28.
Yep.
And I think he's a blue chip. I think he's one of the 6 blue chips in the NHL.
I didn't mean you to get hung up on him, by the way. I was just saying.
No,
the name.
but
Yeah.
he keeps being brought up, and I think it's a good point. You're not the only person who's brought him up. And I will just keep circling back to, I look at this Preds team that's fighting for a playoff spot right now, and they've made all these big moves with getting Dutchy out the door, getting Joey out the door, and they've got guys like Evangelista playing so well as a rookie. Flip Forsberg is playing incredibly well. They've got a lot of good younger talent, and I just think it would be crazy to trade Saros.
Yeah.
And especially with another year left. But if, who knows, Trotz sees this kid in the AHL and is like, nope, that's our future. And we're a few years out anyway. We would have to re-sign
that's all I was
Saros.
gonna say.
That would be a big swinging dick trade from both Trotz and Treeley.
If you had a crystal ball and knew that kid was going to be this close to this level in a couple years,
Yeah.
in 2 years,
Even if you
then,
don't,
dude.
like everyone says good things about him.
Yep.
He's and realistically, I think you look at some of the youth on the Preds, you look at the standing, they're not solidly in a playoff spot. I think you could justify it as Trotz being like, listen, dude, like, I just came here. I got rid of 2 of our big time veterans. I'm making moves here. Saros for Marner is a big time move.
Yep.
And I just think if you're the Preds, you wouldn't be that mad.
Agree.
Yeah, they're not
And-
ready to win now.
Yep.
Nope.
So it makes
If you're the Preds, you wouldn't be that mad. And if you're Toronto, I don't care if you are a diehard Marner fan, like you said. And
Oh,
like,
dude, you have a better chance
again,
of winning the cup.
Plug and play, like I said last week. I was saying Nylander because of the situation. Now we're saying Marner. If you're a Leafs fan and you flip Marner for UC fucking Saros, you are now going, oh my God,
Championship.
we are a top 2 contender in the East, no question.
Yeah,
in
hell
my
yeah.
opinion. And there's so many people who are like, if you have shit D, it doesn't matter if your goalie's good. Fair. But dude, when we say the Leafs have shit D, we're not talking Chicago shit D.
Yeah.
They're
No
in
offense.
3rd place in the Atlantic,
Yeah.
right? Like
just soft.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're soft. But if you have Saros, that's a different fucking story.
How does the Leafs fan in the building feel about, like, when you saw that extension, were you like,
So
sweet?
okay, I look at the Nylander extension. I compare it to Artemi Panarin when he signed that big contract in the open market. He got 11.6 on the open market. What do you think Nylander would have got this summer with an $87 million cap? He's probably getting 12.5.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
So I think this is a good deal by Tree Living in the terms of the market. Yeah, I don't think he's the same goal scorer that Pasternak is or complete player that Pasternak is. But with what he's doing last season and this year, you kind of had to give him the bag.
Yeah.
Now
Hondo P.
now the tough thing is, how do you trade Marner? He's got a full no move clause. He's born and raised in Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, as
It's
a
the
Leafs
same
fan,
thing as Tavares, dude. Like, right? It's so many people who go, first of all great points.
Yeah.
And I said this last week too. If you are bringing Willie back, this is exactly how you did it. Because you're right. If he stays on this pace, he would have signed for 12 this summer with Toronto or elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing him back, which they clearly made the decision to do, that's where I give the Leafs a thumbs up. Where my thumbs are remaining is you have to do something now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I said this on the AMA yesterday. Let's talk about Tavares first. A point per game guy.
Yeah,
but he's a 33-year-old, born and raised Toronto guy, Toronto fan, with a full no move clause. Who is taking that $11 million at 33 years old, and who is he waiving it for?
Right.
And he's the captain.
And he's the captain. So that is borderline impossible.
I know.
Now, Mitch is a little bit different, but in many respects, the exact same with full no move clause. He's in his home city, if you will, playing with his best buddies.
Yeah.
It's like he's not really going to move that for many people either. So, yeah, it's like this is going to be, if this trade happens, whether it be the deadline or the summer, it's going to be a contender for a contender, right?
You'd think so. Only way it works. I love the dude. I love the.
I want it too.
Sid.
I want mayhem, dude.
Yeah, I love the Sid. Like, they built something in Pittsburgh, and he's like, me taking less only works if everyone takes less. And like Bergeron's taking like 6, and like the Bees are like, yeah, we all got to take less. And fuckers up in Toronto, dude, they're like, yeah, that's 15 apiece. Thanks. I'm like, okay, dude, good luck.
Yeah, before winning a playoff series.
Christ. Okay, that's good shit. Getting into overtime this week, couple final segments. We're going to try some new stuff. The first thing we're going to do is this game called Armchair GM. Blake.
So, Armchair GM is where Dan and Chris will draft 5 skaters and 1 goalie at the beginning of each week. Once a player is picked, they cannot pick the same player again. Points and wins are tracked throughout the week by myself, and the point system goes as follows. 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist, 3 points for a win, and 5 points for a shutout. Loser at the end of the season has to endure punishment. We are going to announce the punishment soon. We have some ideas, but we are also open to some suggestions.
Oh, that's
you
a good
fans,
idea. Yeah.
the folks.
Yeah.
So please comment your punishment suggestions on the YouTube page, and please do not hold back.
Yeah, good. Dan, you can have first pick this week. Non-snake draft. Left wing, center, right wing, DD, goalie.
Okay.
And I wish, moving forward, I'm going to know how many games each team has in the week, because that's a fucking factor.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, you wouldn't want to pick someone when they're on the
one
bye
game.
week.
All right. Let's not be stupid here. I just called him the best player in the league right now. I'm going to be going with Nate Dogg as my first pick.
I really wanted that, actually. So your center's gone. All right, give me Kucherov at right wing.
Yeah, smart. I'm going to go with Pasta at right wing.
Okay. I'll take McDiesel at center. Could go off for 10 any night, dude.
He sure could. I'm going to take Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, I did know when someone was going to do that. I'll take. Give me Kale at D.
Wow. Can't believe you left this left winger for me.
I know, but I just feel like he's going to slow down.
Bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that, sorry? Brat?
Bread.
Panarin.
Panarin.
Yep. The left wingers just don't score in this league. It's crazy. I've said this many times. Okay, how about, just because I'm feeling frisky, I'll take Gensel, dude. Gensel at left wing.
Contract year, not a bad pick.
Okay.
1 D left each, right? Oh, and a goalie. Fuck.
Yes, you each have 4 right now.
I got to go with my guy Sway.
Yeah, because it's tricky.
It's tricky because of the tandem. I don't know how many games I'm going to get here.
Yep.
But I'm going with Sway.
I'm taking Darlene to round out my D.
Okay. And this is going to round out my entire roster, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So, Dan, you need a defenseman.
I need a defenseman, yep. I'm going to go... I'm not going to go the obvious here. Ooh. You have Darlene and Kale. There's a guy who's hot right now. Actually, you know what? I was going to go Noah Dobson because he's been buzzing. But I'm going with the hot team, and I'm going Josh Morrissey.
Okay, yeah. Okay, interesting. Good, great pick. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Bouchard. I'm going Hellebuck. For the same reason.
Fuck, yeah.
For the same reason.
That's really smart.
Okay, so we'll keep track.
Yep. Hey.
And we'll see how we do this week.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'll run through the teams here. So Dan, starting center, Nate Dogg with Pasta and Breadman on the wings, Morrissey and Hughes on the back end, and Swayman in goal. Chris has got McDavid centering Kucherov and Gensel, with Darlene and Kale McCarr on the back end, and Hellebuck in net.
Hell yeah.
What a dumb pick that Gensel pick is.
No, dude, he's going to go off.
Hey, what a dumb pick.
Sid's going to have 10 assists.
I'm surprised none of you picked Nylander, fresh off getting
I couldn't believe you didn't. I thought he was going to, but it's Cooch and Pasta. It's hard not to.
Dude, honestly...
Is Cooch? Yeah, Cooch is right wing.
I honestly should have, but I have. So the next thing we're going to do is, because we made some saucy predictions last week for the year, right? So we did these year-long saucy predictions. We did 3 each. We've decided to keep that up, and we're going to do saucy predictions, but 1 each, and it's for the week moving forward. And I'm going to put them on the story. You guys are going to be able to rate how saucy they were, and there's going to be some punishments about some hot wing sauce, depending on how saucy the pick is. So my prediction this week is this. Willie Nylander got the bag. He's feeling himself. The Leafs have 4 games this week, okay?
Okay.
And because we're recording Monday, they play the Sharks tomorrow, the Islanders, the Avs, and the Wings. So not the easiest games, but they have 4 games, okay? My prediction is that in at least one of those games, Willie has a 4-point night.
Wow. Okay.
Because he's vibing, dude, and he's rich.
All right. My prediction is that by this time next week, the New Jersey Devils will be ahead of the New York Islanders in the standings.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
I like that a lot.
Couple tough games.
Yeah.
Couple tough games for the Isles coming up here.
The Leafs.
They've got the Leafs.
Yeah.
They've also got the Canucks. Just think Devils maybe feeling it a little bit here.
Okay, we'll see how saucy everyone thinks it is.
The Devils do have the Panthers this weekend, though.
That's a tough one.
Which, listen, isn't great. But I want it to be saucy. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat some hot
You'll
sauce.
eat some fucking wings. All right, bud.
Shout out Hot Ones. That's good stuff. All right, well, though that is our first iteration of Armchair GM and Weekly Saucy Predictions. This has been a wild episode.
Oh, my God.
Wild episode. Huge thanks to Smitty again. Yep. And really, really crazy stuff with Willie's contract, the Cutter trade, but it is all leading to possibly big, fun stuff coming up here.
Fireworks, baby.
Go Michigan. We've basically already won the national championship.
Hell yeah. And welcome, Blake.
That is it for us this week at the Empty Netters Podcast. Huge edition with Blake. And until next week,
skate hard.